Greetings, welcome to the Ag Pro 2022 Spring Clinics. I'm Blake Sanger, Application and Equipment Sales, Washington Courthouse, Ohio.
I'm Wes Willie, Service Department, Wilmington, Ohio.
Today we're going to talk about this John Deere 410 sprayer, some of the new features, some of the old features. We're also going to cover nozzle bodies.
We'll also go over the pressure recirculation, the new cab, Boom Track 2, the exact apply, the Auto Track Row Vision, Row Sense, a lot of the wear items, maintenance items, and preventative stuff you can do before season. We'll go ahead and get into it.
First, we're going to talk about this 2022 John Deere 410R sprayer. Steel boom, 1,000-gallon tank, 310 horsepower. A lot of the features on this machine are what we're used to in the older models, but there are some new features we're going to cover with some of the old. First off, you see around the ladder some of the newer coated hardware. Used to, two-part epoxy would keep this hardware from corroding or rusting. By the new battery disconnect switch, there's an entrance and exit light switch with LED lights, controllable down here at the disconnect switch or up in the cab. As we come around the machine, you'll notice some of the new LED lighting and also clearance lights. We have the same fresh water tank, same compartment that we're used to on the older models. New work LED lights. New for 2022 on all John Deere sprayers is the new poly eductor. It's not new to John Deere, but it's new on these sprayers. This is the same eductor that Hagee offered for many years. We have the same command solution center for fill, monitoring, clean out, different solution operations with the display. Same flow meters, single flow meter for standard flow, dual flow meters for high flow applications. Controlled by a switching valve, also a throttling valve. Same 3-inch fill, either be pushed on from the tender or truck, or can be sucked on with the solution pump of the machine. 2-inch fill on the 120-gallon rinse tank. Features on this 120-foot steel boom and also the carbon fiber boom is the new Boom Track Pro 2 sensors for added accuracy for height. When we get into nozzle bodies here later and nozzles, we'll talk about some of that being important for correct application from your spray tips, either by over application or under application. The back of the machine is similar. Nothing changed here. On the right side of the machine, you can see the boom a little better. We've got the exact apply nozzle bodies, 15-inch center, stainless steel plumbing. Above those nozzle bodies, you'll see the pressure recirculation that is new to 2022 John Deere application equipment. We've got the DEF fill tank, fuel tank, more of the new LED lighting. Coming up to the front of the machine, right front, we've got the same Auto Track vision camera. Also, we have the Auto Track Row Sense feelers that when you get into canopy corn or row crop applications specific to or compatible to certain row spacing. New on 2022 is the from the cab adjustable mirror. If you've ran an older model, you knew that the buddy system was great on this mirror because you couldn't adjust it from up in the cab. John Deere's changed that. Same 3-inch front fill, can either push on from the tender or truck or suck on with air purge to clean out that line.
So we've done a walk around. We'll come into the cab now. This new Signature Series cab, we'll start off with the new leather wrap steering wheel. Basically a whole new steering column. You've got your new turn signal switch on the left hand side, new wiper switch on the right hand side, and you've got a new right hand wiper on the right hand window. Your foot pedals down on the bottom. You've got your standard brake pedal. The center one is now your boom fold switch when you're folding, and then the far left one is what moves the steering column up. Steering column's now got ventilation in it like the older tractors and older sprayers used to. If we pan around to the right, all of your controls are still the same as the older R series machines. Same functionality, same monitor, same hydro handle, all that good stuff. We've got some storage on the right hand side, some ventilation behind the seats now. The seat swivels left and right. You've got foot pegs on the steering column and also to the right hand side of the cab, so if you want to swivel around to the right, you can put your feet up there as well. All model cabs come with the new touchscreen radio, standard in every machine. They are Apple Play compatible. The new Signature Series seats are heated, cooled, and massaging. Lumbar, leg support, obviously air ride, all the bells and whistles. We've got a new upgraded refrigerator behind the buddy seat rather than down on the floor now. Storage compartment and all your plug-ins and stuff in the back of the cab for your phone chargers, iPads, all that good stuff. Storage compartment up in the roof for all your paperwork, stuff like that. And then there's also a storage compartment underneath the buddy seat down on the floor for miscellaneous stuff. So this was a basic overview of the new John Deere 410R. Obviously the ultimate Signature Series cab with the Signature Series lighting. They also offer a standard and a premium package with kind of downgraded features, not so bells and whistle type stuff. We'll go ahead and get into nozzle bodies, exact apply, and some of the different spray tips on the new machines.
As we talked about in the introduction, we're going to talk about spray nozzles and nozzle bodies. What the effects they have on your application, and also what the nozzle bodies are and 3 different kinds that John Deere has to offer. Spray nozzles, the smallest and most overlooked piece of equipment on a sprayer. They have the greatest effect on accuracy, efficiency, and also drift potential of either insecticides, pesticides, or herbicides in application. You should inspect for wear. Things to look for are proper nozzle alignment. You should inspect them for damage. Monitor spray pressure. Check for pattern quality. Monitor changes in the flow rate across the whole boom, the machine, or in separate sections. Regular spray pattern on the top and an irregular spray pattern on the bottom. If you see the irregular spray pattern, chances are your nozzles need to be replaced. Replace nozzles if the flow from a nozzle varies more than 10% above or below the average of all the nozzles. When to replace nozzles. You can check calibration. You can either do it with an electronic device or you can do it with a manual calibration jug. Always calibrate your nozzles. If flow varies more than 10% above or below the average of all, replace your nozzles. If you don't have time to calibrate and can't remember the last time you changed your nozzles, it's probably time to replace them. John Deere offers different nozzle selection tools that I find helpful, and also I think you would find helpful. Check that you are using the proper nozzle for your application. The same nozzle will not work well for all applications. If not, it is time to replace your nozzles. Follow the rules. When in doubt, replace your nozzles. One tool that John Deere has to offer is the Equipment Plus app. You may have used this app, you may not have. But from this app, you can load profiles for your application equipment. You can track service, machine setup, application. There's also safety. There's a nozzle selection guide in there. There's tank mix calculator. And if you have a direct injection kit, there's also a direct injection calculator. Another tool that John Deere has to offer is the spray nozzle selection guide. What are you spraying? Are you spraying fertilizer? Are you spraying herbicides? When are you spraying? Are you spraying pre, post? Maybe you're spraying post-harvest or pre-harvest. Are you using exact apply? Are you using independent nozzle control? Or are you spraying with a standard nozzle body? Is the chemical or chemistry you're using a contact or systemic? Do you have concerns about drift or coverage? This chart can help you guide you with what tip or nozzle you should get. Next, we're going to get into what John Deere has to offer in spray tips and also nozzle bodies. First off, we've got the ultra low drift, an air inducted tip compatible with standard spray non-pulse width modulation. You can use this either on your standard nozzle bodies, or you can use it in A or B, or AB combined on the exact apply nozzle body. The next nozzle, new a couple years out, is the Low Drift Max. Special made air inducted nozzle, but is approved for PWM use with the exact apply and individual nozzle control. We also have an angled 3D nozzle. With this spray nozzle, it has an incline tip so that you don't get the standard flat fan spray down. You get it more at an angle to get in the canopy and around different objects. We have the high flow nozzle. This is newer than, say, a standard flood. This will work on your standard nozzle bodies or PWM with the exact apply or individual nozzle control. Here we have a standard nozzle body. As you can see, the diaphragm cap is off of the nozzle body. What we're looking here is in the spring, if you have a lot of gallons through your machine, depending on chemistries that you sprayed in the past, I would probably check my diaphragms for cracks or different wears. They tend to get a little bit of a ridge built into the inside of them. You can also check for cracks around the stem where you connect to the wet boom. Leak points can be also O-ring aging. With the new individual nozzle control, it's a different nozzle body, but similar in application. You have one single solenoid mounted on the side of a nozzle body. What that does is a 15 hertz, which is 15 pulses per minute or per second of spray. The John Deere Exact Apply nozzle body, shown here, has two nozzle bodies, or two solenoids, mounted on either side of a 6-port nozzle body. LED light on the bottom can be used for troubleshooting or for night spray. Can be set up either in strobing or on all the time. This nozzle body has the capabilities of a single 15 hertz out of the A port, or combine with the B port and have 30 hertz. Some different things to look at inside of the Exact Apply and also to years to come in the individual nozzle control would be your solenoids and also your poppet valves. You want to check your poppet valves for dirt where they contact the seat. When taking it apart, you want to make sure that the spring doesn't go anywhere. You want to check O-rings. You want to check for corrosion or wear on the solenoid itself. Other than that, you can see the Exact Apply nozzle body, the standard nozzle body, and if you have the individual nozzle control, it is all going to mount up to your stainless steel wet boom. Depending on what nozzle body or application that you have on your sprayer would be what tip you would use.
So wrapping up here today, go over some of the maintenance items, some of the stuff we look at getting it out of the barn for the first time in the year. The hub interval, 500 hours. We're still putting the 80-140 synthetic oil over the other 80-90 or 85-140 oil to dissipate the heat and save the life of these planetaries. So towards the back axle of the machine, this model machine has got check valves here for the product recirculation. That same check valve is used underneath the machine for the rinse tank. That is a huge area that we see leaks where maybe we missed winterizing the rinse tank and that had water sitting in it. That'll crack and then bust, and you go to the field the next spring and then that's leaking. So make sure you're looking at those. They're up underneath the frame of the machine on all the old R series. And then also, if you're running float tires, the tread adjust is a big thing. There's 3 bolts here. It's on all 4 axles. We want to make sure we're keeping those tread adjust shims adjusted to save the life of those tires, to keep them true and keep those axles true. And I also tell everybody, at least every other day or once a week or something, run those tread adjusts out. Even if you don't use them, I like to move them out when I'm working on the machine. I'm a bigger guy, so it gives me a little more space to work on the machine. So exercise them every now and then, lubricate them if you want, just to keep them working, so when it does come to the time, if you do want to use them, they're not frozen in there. So fill station here, we winterized our sprayer last winter, and we're coming to basically unwinterize it, get ready to go to the field. So the valves we want to really change are the tank shutoff valve to the boom. We want to open it back up, okay? Then the next valve forward would be our orifice valve. And depending on what you're spraying, if it's over or under 26 gallons a minute, you'll open it up. And then the big one a lot of guys forget is the flow meter. So if you've got 2 flow meters, you want to make sure that you're shutting that second flow meter off. So if you go to the field, you're over applying, you run half product and you're only doing, or full product and running half the acres, make sure you check your flow meters. Also, pull your flow meters out, check them, make sure there's no buildup of chemical stuff that didn't get rinsed out last year. Spray them off, brake clean, make sure they're nice and clean for the start of the season, basically. I know this is a new adductor. It's the same basic concept as the old stainless steel. A lot of times we don't winterize the bottle rinse. So the first time we go to dump product in, we kick this valve on, that bottle rinse will shoot right up in your face and cover you. So check it, make sure that it's not frozen and cracked. That's a big area we've seen a lot. And then also your filters. There's one here, one at the fill station, 3 on the back of the boom. Make sure that put your strainers in, clean your strainers if they've stayed in, and then check for leaks as well. So front left side of the machine here, we've got our hydraulic hoses going down the wheel motor, the park brake, the case drain stuff. Big wear item that I've seen in the last, 5 years on the R Series machines is this bracket right here where the hoses clamp. A lot of times, especially if you're using tread adjust a lot, these hoses will get rubbed in this black block clamp in here and rub the skirting off. So get in there, there's usually a lot of dirt built up along the top of it. Clean that dirt off, check the coating of that. It'll rub the rubber coating off and you'll see underneath it. You've got your 3 tread adjust bolts to set the tread adjustment on the front axle. So last thing today that I really want to cover is a really big item that I've seen the last couple years as well. So here at the front of the boom, where the inner and outer fold at, you've got 2 pins, top and bottom here, that have got a poly fiber bushing in this joint here. These machines are able to fold while they're moving, so it puts a lot of stress on these bushings and these pins. And Deere says it's a maintenance item, obviously, because it's greaseless. So check those bushings, unfold it, just put it down on the ground. You can look at them. If there's little fiber pieces coming out, you'll know that those bushings are getting worn. And also up in the cradle of the machine, you can see when the outer boom doesn't set on the inner boom in the cradle position, you'll know that these pins are starting to get worn.
All right, guys, that's about all we have for the application. If you have any questions, reach out to your local Ag Pro, sales, service, or parts.
Have a safe spring.